Okay, we're going to be working with wire today. So we've got a thin annealed wire. Annealed means that it's been heated and slowly cooled so that the wire is soft. When we use the pliers to cut, this little inside circle is where we can cut it. You always want to cut away from yourself because sometimes they can flick off like a toenail clipping and fly to the other side of the room. You also need to be aware that the tip where you cut it is going to be very, very sharp. You could scratch yourself and it can even pierce your skin. So we're going to make a little form here, make a cube. You need to use the tip of the pliers to kind of grasp the wire to make sure it stabilizes, and then you can pull and turn a corner and you get some nice corners like that. We'll do that again, and we're going to do it again. Now we're not looking for perfection, we're just looking for a basic form. Okay, and now I could just turn a corner, but all of this is going to kind of wave around. So what I need to do is stabilize that. So I'm going to grab both pieces of wire at the same time, and then I can take this and kind of wrap around it if I like to. Then I could take the other end, wrap that around as well, and crimp it down so that it doesn't move out of its place. Now I can go ahead and turn a corner, and again using the tip of the pliers, and again. So I'm going to cut off my excess wire again. Okay. Now there's a couple ways that I can stabilize this. So the first way is kind of what we did, where I grab the corner and then I can run the wire through that gap and tie it off. It's a little hard to grab both wires, but it can be done with a little bit of practice. And then that little gap there, I go ahead and pinch that shut. Okay. And then I do need to run along a similar edge, and then I can do the same thing over here. Hold that corner, pull the wire through, and that can make a corner. And that stabilizes the figure. It's not going to want to shimmy around a lot. Now there's another thing I can do, which is called a fold and a lap. Okay. So if I want to join this corner here, what I could do is just fold the wire back, but keep it longer than I actually need. So let's say that's the corner. I'm going to fold it back longer than I actually need. Use my plier to pinch that shut. And then what I can do is overlap that edge and then fold the wire back and pinch that shut again right on that corner. So that's another way to kind of stabilize an edge as well. So you can fold it past where you need it and then pull it underneath and crimp it shut so you can see that it really grabs onto that wire there. So that's two ways to connect corners as you're building your wire sculptures. So we're going to be creating food sculptures out of wire. This is supposed to be a pizza, but there's very little detail in it. The good thing I can say about it is that it's been tied off really well in this corner. We've got it kind of crimped over the wire here and there, so it is pretty decent. It's not going to slide, but the form is very basic. So there's not much I can assess there, so it's not really a great project. This one, however, has a little bit more detail. So we still got the corners crimped over correctly, but now we've added a little line for maybe some cheese and some pepperoni. But this is sculpture class, and that's really flat. So shapes are great when we're drawing stuff, but sometimes when we're sculpting things, we want to work a little bit more 3D. This example is similar to the last. We've got the pepperoni going on there, and the crust was a piece of wire wrapped around a marker to get that kind of a tube. You could use a dowel or anything. So it's a little better. We popped a little 3D in there, but we can go even further with this example. So it's easier to see from an angle. We've got the crust going on there. We've even got cheese on the edge, like it's dripping down a little bit. We've got pepperoni on here and a line for the sauce and the cheese kind of meeting. All of the corners are crimped nicely. Okay, even on the front edge. And there's a thickness to the pizza here, so maybe this is a deep dish pizza. So we definitely get the idea that we're working in 3D. We can definitely tell it is definitely pizza, not just some pie with cherries on it or something. We definitely get that idea from this sculpture. So this is sort of where we're aiming for. This is our goal, to create a three-dimensional form of a piece of food, and hopefully your favorite food. Okay, I'm going to show you a little tip about making other kinds of food, because not everything is pizza, though that would be nice. I'm going to go ahead and cut off a piece here, and then I want to show you how we can make something three-dimensional like, let's say a chicken leg. So we can take our wire and go ahead and bend it into a chicken leg shape. And then I can use my pliers, gripping both wires, can make that run between to make a tie-off point. Now, as we said before, it's sculpture. It shouldn't be flat. So how do we make this little chicken leg, or actually it looks like a goldfish too, into a 3D form? Well, I can echo this shape, but up top. So I can pull this over, go ahead and do the little bone piece, little bow of the body piece. Grip and wrap again. Pinch that down so it doesn't move, and then continue in the other direction. Go ahead and wrap again to kind of finish that off. You can see now that it feels like more of a three-dimensional form. If I wanted to make it look even better, I could put additional wires in between those gaps if I wanted to. You can also use this for other forms. Let's say you wanted to do a pear. All you have to do is, you echo the shape in a different way, and now you have kind of a pear shape. If you want it to be a meatball or an orange, then you're doing the same thing. It's just with circles. So this sort of technique is kind of helpful to get this idea of a form, but again, having a little bit extra in between can be helpful. So go ahead and give that a try as well. I find that if you get stuck for ideas, sometimes a continuous line drawing can be helpful. So whatever you can draw with a line, you can also make with a wire. So let's say I wanted to do a watermelon slice. I could go ahead and do that, tie it, go back again. Then I've got my two sides, have the wire go across. Then I could make the wire come across and make some pits. Now, if I wanted to get extra adventurous, I could continue that line out and do the rind of the watermelon, and then do the rind on the other side as well. So adding that extra detail may be helpful, and it might be too complicated, but you'll need to check out your own skills and see what you can do. So again, a continuous line drawing can help even with that chicken leg idea that I had. Tie it off with the bone, the chicken. So this way it kind of helps you plan out some of the figures you might be considering.